Good morning, hello, good morning. Welcome once again to Dork Duck Daily, the show with all the news you nerd and other shenanigans. It is Monday, 9:01 a.m. on April the 7th, 2025. We are cruising along. I am here. I'm on massive amounts of painkillers, but I'm here. Good morning, Mello. Good morning, Snoopy. Good game on first, Snoopy. Already healed? Mello asks. No. I mean, we're moving along. It's having. I think if I just had the one pulled instead of the two, I think I'd probably be like, oh, whatever. Probably be more in that zone of things. But the having the two teeth pulled, I'm definitely in like a fun state of like I don't feel great.
No. And you thought you would. You thought you'd be fine. I'm like, nope, you're not gonna be okay. Yeah, I don't know why it was sideways like that, but my microphone's always the one that gets overlooked. Is it fine? There?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you sat down before the show, then I would be able to adjust these things for you.
7,000 other things. We also have, I have to go get my windshield wipers hopefully repaired for free because there's a recall notice on them. And also have to get an oil change. So I had to go find the recall notice in our giant drawer of paperwork that I'm sure 90% of it I could throw away, but I'm the only one who ever goes through the paperwork. And I don't know, like, what's important and what isn't. So I just save everything because I'm scared to throw something away that's important.
I remember watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine and, like, being like, oh my god, Jake Peralta is me. And that joke just kept getting funnier. And then there's this episode where he realizes he's, like, losing his apartment. Mm-hmm. And his friend comes over to help him. They're like, they must have sent something. And he's like, oh, it's probably in the mail tub. And they cut to, like, he had a second bathroom, and his tub is just full of mail.
Yeah.
And it's like, yep, that's me. That's the showcasing of Jeff's level of responsibility.
It's fine.
Good morning, Lindsay. Hello. Or good afternoon. Hope things are well out there on that side of the pond. But yeah, no, they went in and they took the back two teeth back here on my left lower side. And that was a surreal experience for itself because...
Is your mouth bleeding or did you just eat Jell-O?
I just ate Jell-O.
Okay. I never know.
I just ate Jell-O, sorry.
I never know when.
Oh, my mouth's not bleeding. No. Am I just like exuding red?
No, I just noticed a little bit of red right here, so I was like, oh no, is he bleeding?
No, well, I have to eat food for the meds, and I don't want to like scarf down some of my, like, I used to like be like a big like crunchy peanut butter toast. I'm not gonna eat that right now.
Yeah.
So I get Jell-O, like an old man.
I don't think that makes you an old man.
I don't know, lots of stuff this week made me feel like an old man. When I was on, like, at least I'm on less medications now, but like for a while I was just like, all right, I have to take this one and this one and this one. But as they're pulling that thing out, like, it's wild, because you're awake the entire time. They don't put you under, which seems weird to me. And then you're just like wide awake.
Sorry.
And you just like you're like, yeah, can you get to 47? And then they're just handing these different pliers over to the person. You're seeing these pliers come at your face and just like you're gonna hear a little cereal sound, snap, crackle, pop. They're just like going at it, and then they stop to have real conversations, and then they'll be like, oh, I got my pizza in the fridge today. And you're like, could you just focus on the teeth?
They would like stop talking, or they would stop working to talk. And I would just be like, I'm sitting there like drawing or reading a book or whatever the fuck I was doing. And like...
Burgers called me a boomer. What's up, man? Good morning.
I mean, not too far out. But Yeah, no, they'd just like stop and start talking about things, and like I'd be like, "What are you gonna keep going?" Like I'm on a schedule here. Like
Yeah, we've stuff to do.
we've like blocked out. It was a Thursday, so I had to go work at the shop, and like I'm just like sitting there, like, are we gonna be done? Like if they weren't gonna be done by the time I had to leave, I was gonna have to call my grandma to come and get Jeff to drop him off at home. That would have been super stressful because although like me and my grandma have the same level of like anxiety and like the need to like make sure situations are 100% like handled perfectly, so she probably would have done the exact same thing and been like, okay, here's what you have to do, don't do this and this, or you should don't eat this, go. She would probably have done that.
I had a lot of fun just like pretending that I was gonna like not listen to the advice at all.
He kept trying to take my KFC drink and drink out of it because it had a straw and you're
Be
not
like,
supposed
just like, no, Jeff, no. Because afterwards you can't drink out of things with a straw at all. You can't
You can't smoke weed.
I can't smoke weed, which that part was annoying because that was like
You probably can't suck dick. I wouldn't know.
we were having a nice little debate of like who out there has like gotten the dry socket thing from that and had to go back to the doctor and been like straws.
Oh, yeah.
You know. Didn't see that straw thing coming. Was definitely a straw that I forgot and sucked on.
I'm just gonna eat a gummy worm.
Okay, you do that.
Thanks.
You eat things that I cannot enjoy.
Oh yeah, I was gonna be like, you don't even like gummy worms, but you do.
I like sour gummy worms.
Sorry.
But yeah, and then it's been the aftercare, which is just like I had a full day of like weird gauze in my mouth, and then I thought I was gonna like sit around and play lots of games, but I was just miserable, so I just watched things and slept for 2 days basically.
Yeah.
Lindsay says my dentist has his music up full volume and was trying to talk to me in depth about how good the guitarist was, but I had my mouth wide open, not being able to talk. I was just mumbling, dribbling yeah, I would rather they talk to each other than talk to me. That's the worst, is when they're like...
There was this one time, you're not my dentist anymore, but maybe they were, hi Waffles. Maybe it was the same dentist that you went to recently. I don't remember, because at some point I went to that dentist as well. But at some point, it was like right before Thanksgiving, and I had to get fillings.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was a root canal. I think it was fillings though, because it wasn't super serious. And they're just talking about turkey, but they put me on that gas.
Mm-hmm.
That like makes everything fine and good
And hilarious.
and funny. And I just remember just like giggling, like being like turkey or something like that. And they're like, "Oh yeah, do you like turkey?" And I was like, "No." Like ham or something like that, but I forgot that they were like working on my mouth, and so I was still trying to talk to them while they were like, stop talking, but also still asking me questions.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they wanted me to do.
I like
Pete just picked up that toy and walked away.
I expected to get the gas and I did not. There was no gas. They just like did the syringe full of numbing stuff. And then
I don't know.
Kept coming back and being like, "Is your face numb enough now?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm not the one. I'm not the expert."
It was not funny, but just interesting to watch. Just like the dentist ask, like like I would struggle with that question too, though, because it's such a vague question. It's like, "Are you numb enough yet?" And it's like, I don't know. I don't know how to tell the level at which you need me to be numb. Like, it's a little different, but do you need me to be, like, so numb I can't, like, my whole side of my face is drooped? Like, what do you want?
Then he would touch my lips here and then touch my lips here. Like, does that feel different? And I'm like, I don't know. You're real tender. It's like, I don't know, man. It's a very intimate moment between the two.
Yeah, I just sit there like, interesting.
It was an experience. Yeah, I don't know. Fucking take care of your teeth though. the worst. Wouldn't wish any of this on my worst enemy. And right now it's like I'm definitely in the still. It's been like 2 or 3 weeks because it's been a week of like knowing this was coming and like still being in like kind of pain. Then like a week of like, okay, we have a plan and I'm in pain, but it's being somewhat managed by pain meds. And then it's like we're in the aftermath now. So we're like at 3 weeks straight of just tooth stuff for Jeffrey, in which I may be the most, at least the kids left because I felt bad for them because I may be the most patient man in the universe, but like
You were getting a little snippy, which is crazy because you never get snippy, but
no.
You were just like, and it was like this beautiful moment of like, I'm glad that our kids don't have anxiety to that level at which like they are like aware of someone else, like their parent or whatever, like being in that much pain, because there was a point too before the teeth came out and you were just like in pain and they had like a sleepover or something. So there was like multiple kids here and they were just like, do you know how to change the remote in the Roku? Like we took the batteries out. Where's the batteries? And they're like screaming this at us practically, like not inside voices.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, all right, can we like take it down just like a couple levels? Because your dad is in so much pain right now. And you're just sitting there like...
I was just like sitting on the couch, like bare knuckling.
They're like, wow, that sucks. I'm really sorry, Dad. Anyway, the Roku remote? Yeah.
And all of this to response that, like, we were taking the living room TV back over to, like, it was just like, oh, well, if you're taking it, we need to figure out how to make this technology work in this other room that you don't care about right now. Like, ah.
And then our oldest kid, who doesn't live with us, came over and yelled at Jeff because apparently it heard through the grapevine that Jeff was just sitting and drinking White Claw after he got his teeth pulled, which isn't entirely inaccurate.
That was my day one pain strategy. I drank a lot of White Claw.
Claws, but
hey, got the job done.
I personally would not have drank any White Claw because alcohol dehydrates you.
It depends how fast you drink it.
What? Alcohol dehydrates you no matter what.
No, it depends on the alcohol part of the drink does, but like White Claws are only like a low percentage.
Sure, I just wouldn't risk it personally as a person who...
Okay, but as a person who is wildly in pain...
Yeah, no, I know. I've been there. Don't come at me with that. I've had the exact same tooth removal, except on the top part of my mouth, which was arguably worse. Not that it's a competition, but... Mine was so bad that I had to keep gauze in my mouth for like 3 days because it was like the gravity from my mouth.
Oh yeah,
being the top tooth, it just kept bleeding.
It kept just bleeding and
I was at McDonald's like the next day working, just like, hey guys, I have a bunch of blood in my mouth right now. I need to go change my gauze, and they'd get mad at me.
Lindsay says, no, Lena, you just drink more White Claw when thirsty. Yeah,
White Claw tastes like static to me now. I don't like it anymore.
No.
I used to like White Claw and I don't.
It was a solid pain strategy. Well, I was gonna do weed.
But you can't do that. But
I couldn't smoke weed, so I just bought a case of White Claw. And everybody judged me for it. And I was just like, look, I have to sit here and be in pain. This is what I'm gonna do to help manage it.
Oh, that's fair.
And it did. I drank a bunch of White Claw and fell asleep and then woke up when the phone rang.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice. It was just like, and we're out. But yeah, my kid heard that's how I was, so came over to yell at me, and then I hadn't cleaned anything up, so it looked like I was just continuously drinking White Claws.
When that was like from the first day.
Yeah,
maybe one was added on there. You haven't drank any since then, I think. You might have had one when we were watching that one show, that movie.
Yeah.
With Jesse Eisenberg.
And Kieran Culkin.
Yeah.
A Real Pain. Yeah, we were watching that set.
It was good.
And I was like, when else to watch a movie called A Real Pain than when I'm actually in pain? Let's go. But But yeah, my kid came over and it was just this graveyard of White Claws and pudding cups and Jello cups, and my kid was like, "Oh my gosh, I came over to yell at you because you're not taking care of yourself." And I was like, "I was sleeping till you got here."
Like, you woke me up.
Like, I'm fine. Like, I heard you're gonna go to work tomorrow. Like, yeah, it's been
I went
2
to work
days.
the next day, so I can't yell at you for working too soon because, again, I literally went to McDonald's with gauze in my mouth and I was just like, hey, I can't do the speaker today. Like,
Yeah.
I can't talk on the speaker, but I can put food in a bag. And
I took more time off than I had planned to.
that's true. Yeah. Everybody heals differently. And, like, your body, if you don't take care of your body when it's in its healing mode, it will take care of it for you.
Yeah.
In a way that you might not like. Like, you've experienced it yourself where you've been sick and you've pushed and pushed and pushed, and then your body's been like, I can't do anything. So, that's why whenever I get sick, I'm like, okay, I have to, like, pamper myself right now. Because otherwise, my body's gonna be, like, incapacitated for, like, 3 days versus 1 day.
I always, like, paddle out to, like, when I can just pamper myself, and then I do. Like, I'm like, I just have to get to Sunday.
Bro, we work, like, 6 days a week. If you get sick on a Monday...
It's a long way of paddling.
Yeah, and you're not gonna be able to, like... Pete, did you bring your toy? Hold on, Pete brought his toy. Pete.
But yeah, so I'm mustering through with White Claws and pain meds. The intense pain meds run out, I think, today, and then it's like, there will be a little bit of a flare up and a fall off from that, because that's always the those opioids are like really, really good pain meds. The problem being they're really, really good pain meds. So it's like while you're taking them, they don't actually get rid of pain. They make you feel like you're just like okay with the pain. And then when they go away, your body's just like, hey, here's this much like a mail tub or a mail bin. It's kind of the pain equivalent to your body coming up and being like, hey, would you go through all this mail? You're like, no. Which is why opiates are such a big problem, because people are like, I would just like those pills again, please. Yeah. Can I just go ahead and take those? Can I just keep taking those?
Beautiful boy.
And so I will have that to go through the next couple of days. But you have to go through that, because if you don't, you never actually heal up. And you just will have like a toothache forever.
Side segue or whatever you want to call it. Apparently the fact that our cats are fat and like shiny is like a very like common topic over at my grandparents' house.
That they're fat and shiny?
Like their coats are shiny.
Okay.
I guess they know cats that aren't fat and shiny. I don't know. But my mom was, because her dog's getting fat, and my grandma was like, you should see her. She looks pregnant. And I'm like, okay, that's probably good though. Like, fat and happy dog.
Yeah.
And my grandma's like, yeah, but you're used to that because like all your cats are fat and shiny. I was like, they're just so healthy.
Fat and shiny. I can almost hear fat. The shiny part is what's throwing me off.
Maybe she worded it differently, but I'm pretty sure she just said shiny. Don't roll over Pete's toy. He's like patiently about to get it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's funny because they're all getting like to be healthy weights again. Because for a while, Waffles goes through stages of like really bad anxiety and like doesn't like, she'll eat, but she lets the other cats eat her food for her because she's so anxious that she's like, oh my god, they're gonna come get me.
But you know, by the way, friendly viewers and listeners, Selena, I love her, is a little insane.
What?
It is the most adorable and sweet thing in the world watching her feed these cats, because she literally will bring the overly anxious ones into their own room, set up their own food. She has like different food tailored for each cat, and so she'll like be like, okay, cat number 2, you come into the, and we'll close you off in this room, give you this food.
Yeah.
This one doesn't like eating in front of anybody, so we'll close you off in this
He
room.
doesn't. Usually Pete and Bug eat in their own room because Bug now realizes, oh, I can do that too, huh? And like, because first it was Pete, and then Bug was like, oh, cool, like it's quiet in here. There's not a tiny cat trying to eat my food. This is great. And so I put Bug and Pete in their own room, and then I set their bowls on opposite sides of the room so they don't bother each other. And then Waffles and Pancake just eat at the like little cat bowl station, and they each eat together.
It's a lot. I'm impressed every time because like the
They're
amount
my
that
babies.
yeah.
They're like literally my children.
Yeah, but I don't put that much work into my own children. I'm like, pizza's out there.
If your kids were like toddlers, though, you would. The cats are like essentially toddlers.
Usually the whole appeal to cats is that they're more like teenagers, where you're just like, that food's in there.
That's not...
There's the shitter.
No.
You guys can go.
It's not true. Just because they can't verbally tell you, like, hey, I actually would really like it if you mixed a little bit of water into my cat food and like put some like little vitamin treats into my food so I get my extra vitamins.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Babies.
Melissa, store's closed today, isn't it? Rest today. Yeah, that's part of the plan. I mean, this will be my first day back to like work-ish proper, but it's not a like proper work day. So
yeah, I have
do
to
lots of
take our car and then go hopefully pick up our children, because like I'm hoping that by the time my car is done. Whoa, Pete. I'm hoping by the time my car is done that it's not going to take forever, but that's my anxiety for today is, oh shit, is the car going to be done by the time I have to leave?
It's the same thing as like the teeth pulling thing. You have enough hours in there, it should be fine. So
yeah, but there's always that like complication that could happen where they're just like, actually, well, it's just an oil change and like a windshield wiper repair. At the very least, I could just be like, you need to give me my car now. I gotta go.
Yeah. You can even just say it when you drop it off, like, hey, no rush. I absolutely have a heart out at 2:45. Like,
yeah.
You just tell them that, and then they'll be like, oh, okay. You're allowed to communicate your anxieties to people, and like,
I know. I just worry.
But we don't just talk about my my tooth nonsense on this show, although it's been the subject of the show a lot lately. We also cover all the news you nerd in a whole segment we like to call the Daily Quack. Cult of the Lamb audio director Narayana Johnson, also known as Riverboy, has died.
What?
Oh. This is from Kara Phillips over at PC Gamer.
Really sad.
There's a picture of him. Narayana Johnson, the audio director for Massive Monster, has died. His death was announced via statement shared to the Cult of the Lamb social media pages on April 3rd. More commonly known as Riverboy, Johnson most famously composed the soundtrack of the Cult of the Lamb, alongside voicing every follower within the game. So they're like a little like, whoa, whoa. I can't remember the noises. What noises did the followers make? You've been playing a lot of Cult of the Lamb lately.
Like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, apparently that's all him doing those, like, noises.
Okay.
He's also known for being one half of Willow Beats and producing the music for Unicycle Giraffe, another game from Massive Monster. In a statement posted to social media, Cult of the Lamb shared a message from the team at Massive Monster. It's with heavy and broken hearts we have to announce that Narayana Johnson, aka Riverboy, has passed away. It's impossible to describe how much of a void he is leaving at Massive Monster and how his absence will be felt. He was more than our audio director. He was a creative powerhouse. He was a friend, and he was our silly little guy. It actually says that. Um, from the first note of music to the voice of every single follower, Narayana is woven into the soul of Cult of the Lamb. The game and studio wouldn't be what it is and won't be the same without him. Narayana would want you to take a moment to look at nature, to touch your feet to the earth. He would want you to listen to his music and remember how much it meant to him to share it with you all. Massive Monster ended the statement with, the team needs some space and some kindness in this difficult time. We're a small team and we're all feeling the loss. Thank you for understanding. Narayana, we're going to miss you so much. The death of Johnson is also being felt among the Cult of the Lamb community in response to Massive Monster's statement, with hundreds of replies across social media sharing their condolences with Massive Monster and celebrating the work and talents of Riverboy. Fans of Cult of the Lamb and the work of Narayana Johnson in general have been quick to share their tributes with one another in the replies. I've been singing the praises of Cult of the Lamb since its release in 2022, and having spent an immeasurable amount of time listening to the soundtrack outside of playing, so much it's ended up in my Spotify Wrapped for the last 2 years. It's not hard to appreciate how talented Johnson was. His death will be a significant loss for anyone who loved Cult of the Lamb alongside his other successful projects like Willow Beats, but at least we have such a fantastic amount of work to remember him by. Yeah, it's a bummer. I can't imagine that game without all of the sound that makes that game. Like that really for me takes that from like what would be like a very Newgrounds-esque, like, oh, I could have played this on Newgrounds on Flash, like not even in a good way, but like in a bad, like a very disposable kind of way of just like, this game's all right, to like the sound design in that game is a lot of what brings it from that into like, oh, this game's incredible, okay. And it's like the balance of the music, and to know that he did all those silly follower noises too, like the blah, blah, like they just make like weird,
or
like
when they get mad and they like get on their little loudspeaker thing and they're like, bah, 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 bah. It's so funny. I'm very sad now.
yeah, that's a fucking bummer. What was the other thing he was part of? Willow Beats. That can't be it, right? Or is that?
Wait, sorry, what?
It said that he was also one half of Willow Beats. I can't tell if that but that's a really old picture. They haven't done anything since 2018, looks like, so.
I don't know. I'll be right back.
You're running away from me?
I just have...
I don't know if this is your stuff or not, man. Like, could be. But yeah, the fucking bummer, regardless. I was gonna try to find yeah, it says Willow Beats. I think that's it. That's my like, I don't like whenever any artist passes, like, it fucking is a bummer, but my favorite thing is like of what is like a very sad thing is like when you're just like, oh, look, here's this actual like incredible side project that no one would have known or like looked at otherwise, and like look at all this stuff that just exists out there that can be like mined and utilized and enjoyed. And so it's fucking bummer. Trying to see yeah, he has his own Jeff, you're alive. I am indeed alive. Yeah, it looks like his Spotify is like nothing nothing but Cult of Lamb stuff. But even if that's just how his stuff lives on, like that's fucking rules. I'm trying to see, there's gotta be I'll see if I can follow the official Spotify thing to see if it the Spotify bio says Nariana Johnson, aka Riverboy's music producer, composer, and songwriter from the Northern Rivers. Takes a lot of inspo from his childhood spent in the rivers with homeless. In the rivers with homies. It's a great, terrible misread. Music has taken him across the world, where he's mostly been known for his award-winning work on Cult of Lamb. He also works across many different mediums, including curation through his umbrella collective False Ego, a community of artists making work for live events. Catch one of these events, games, maybe films. Who knows what the future holds, is what the official Spotify thing says. I'm looking, and on Spotify, unfortunately, his other video game soundtracks aren't up there either. It's just Cult of Lamb stuff. So you're gonna have to do some digging. What was the other game that I've not even played, that other game that they were talking about? But yeah, the fact that he did the voices of all those followers and stuff too, and it's a fucking bummer. Hug your friends, man. Which is always the lesson of all of this stuff. A Minecraft movie at 157 million. A record opening for Videogame Pic, toppling Super Mario Brothers. Warner Brothers brings the box office back alive. We'll have more updates. This is, by the way, Deadline's article from yesterday about it. It says, we'll have more updates for you later this morning. At $157 million, a Minecraft movie is the biggest opening for a video game feature takeover. Congrats to Warner Brothers and Legendary for bringing the box office back alive. Welcome back. Goodbye. Deadline's Contenders TV is going on, so come on down to DGA with light entertainment programming heading into Easter. The world literally is a Warner Brothers oyster. Said Warner Brothers Motion Picture Group co-chairs Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi, who fully greenlighted the feature film after it was a long time in development at the studio, were absolutely overjoyed. A Minecraft movie has been so warmly received by audiences around the world, and extend our congratulations to Jared Hess and his filmmaking team. Legendary Vertigo. Jared Hess, isn't that the dude from Chernobyl?
Cold.
No. Who is Jared Hess? Why do I know that name?
No.
The Napoleon Dynamite guy? It's the Napoleon Dynamite guy. Weird.
Is it weird? Is it
that he made Napoleon Dynamite, Nacho Libre, and now the Minecraft movie? It's a little weird. It's like that's a weird career arc. And his filmmaking team, Legendary Vertigo, Mojang, and our phenomenal cast led by Jason Momoa, Jack Black, Emma Myers, Sebastian Hansen, Daniel Brooks, and Jennifer Coolidge.
Jennifer Coolidge is in the Minecraft movie?
Apparently.
Okay, I might actually have to go see it. I love Jennifer Coolidge. She's so funny.
She's great. Who helped make the film a must-see event for moviegoers of all ages. A Minecraft movie's decade-long journey to the screen was overseen with great care by WBP's Jesse Ehrman and his team, and we are thrilled their efforts have resulted in such a tremendous response. The inventive marketing campaign led by Donna Nospum, Christian Davin, John Stanford, and their teams, along with strategic global distribution plan laid out by Jeff Goldstein and his team, have led to a spectacular result. We extend our thanks to them in every division across WBD who supported the film and for their incredible work. I love this current landscape we're in, where it's like about every couple months I start reading like movie theaters are gonna be done, like it's all over. It's a good run, but like no more movie theaters. No, they can't make a hit, and then it's like something comes out, and they're like, "Oh my god, we can make hit movies again." Okay,
Yeah.
everything's fine, and then it rinse and repeat.
Hi, Sam. Sorry, I can't really read that chat, but I can see that I think my name is there.
I thought you had the chat up on your phone.
I had to go plug in my phone. It was at 4%.
No. I kept trying to plug in your phone for you yesterday, and then you kept unplugging it. Because when I first found it, it was at 4%, and then you got it up to like 20, and you were like, "Yay!" And then you ran away with it. And then as soon as I saw you set it down, I plugged it back in. But like I can't help it save you from yourself. I try.
Yeah, it's okay. You're not obligated to plug my phone in for me.
Sam says, "Sorry for solo replies. I've been feeding my Slime Rancher addiction. Slime Rancher is very good.
The kids love that game.
Have you ever played it and got into it?
I've played a little bit of it, but like...
Oh, it's a good time. I don't even like games like that, and I had a pretty good time.
I can imagine it is a good time. Pete?
Late night Sunday AM update. Warner Brothers Legendary's Minecraft movie keeps on growing. Today's was well north of 57 million. This puts the 3-day at 145 million. But don't be surprised if Warner calls it higher tomorrow morning, and if the feature take on the Mojang game comes in at the best debut for a Videogame Pic, squashing Super Mario Brothers 3-day 146.3 million. Remember that Illumination Universal title bowed on a Wednesday. Yes, they had a whole extra day too. I appreciated the co-marketing of having Jack Black host SNL this weekend. Like, that was fun. Like, I don't know why corporate money was spent to have Jack Black suspended in the air singing about having a threesome and a foursome, but like
But it was.
And it was a good time. That was one of my favorite like post update sketches I've seen in a long time, of just like, whose idea was like this?
Probably Jack Black's idea, honestly. That dude seems like he would find that hilarious.
Right. Well, notoriously the post update sketches are usually the weirder ones that like the people that like you and I worship are like, no, hear me out. They're flying in the air singing about sex. But like there is literally no reason for them to be suspended in the air in that sketch. They just are, and it doesn't quite make sense, but I love it.
It's pretty great.
There's also one of my favorite SNL moments in a while, which is someone on update going like, "Men aren't what?" and then the whole crowd going shit, and then them having to block it out in later broadcasts.
It's amazing.
It's good times.
Great, yeah.
Good times. Mela says, Slime Rancher, ? And Sam says, it's an old cozy game. You were a rancher raising cute little alien slimes.
Oh, Pete. I got the itchies.
And I started playing it again like 2 days ago. It's solid.
We have to take them in.
What?
We have to take them in. They might have ear mites.
Ear mites?
They're all itching their ears lately.
Okay. There might be something over the counter we can get for that.
Maybe. I love our cats so much. It's just been one thing after another with them. And, like, I would go lay down in the road for them. Like, I really would. It's just, like, I'm so anxious all the time because I'm just, like, are they suffering and they can't tell me?
They seem to be having a pretty good chill time, though.
They do. Like, Pete's sitting there playing with his toy. And, like, Pancake and Bug are out there on the baby blanket. My grandma gave me my old baby blanket from when I was, like, really little. And it's cute. It's like a little Noah's Ark themed baby blanket. And I'm not religious, but, like, I could still find Noah's Ark to be a good story. 'Cause it's just about a dude that's like, I'm keeping all the animals, right?
Yep, that's all it's about.
That's what it
There's
is.
nothing else.
Right?
There's no weird sex stuff with his kid or anything.
What? 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 Jeff, no, what? Dude.
I know too much. I'm sorry.
I was vaguely religious for a time and they never told us that.
I'm a big fan of like Noah's Ark. Like I painted a Noah's Ark mural in like the nursery of like my childhood church.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always thought that stuff was neat.
Yeah.
Like,
can you elaborate on what you mean by like weird sex stuff?
It's something with like drunken sex. Okay.
What? No, I don't know that I want to go into this actually, but
Sam says only 2 generations of humans survived the flood, so it was a lot of incest afterwards.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's all I need to know. Thank you. I need no more context than that.
Well, now I need it because I don't remember.
Oh my god. What kind of article is
This article is Where's Drunk Naked Noah on the Sunday School Felt Board?
I don't want this. You can read this to yourself. I don't need it. I've received my context. I need not anything else. Anyway, my cute story that is now ruined is that the cats really like my baby blanket. Which now my baby blanket is ruined too.
I forgot about Lot's 2 daughters getting their dad drunk and having sex with him while they were hiding out in the mountains after Sodom was destroyed. I forgot that was in the Bible too.
What? I didn't sign up.
This is an article just about all the silly like things that get skipped over.
I didn't
in
sign
Sunday
up
school.
for any of this morning.
Seems that Bible ruined another childhood. Or maybe it's in the same place as the felt figure of the Levite who chopped his dead concubine into a dozen pieces after the men of the city. Oh, gross. Okay. Or it could be where the felt figure of Elisha when he sicked 2 mama bears on the 40 boys who mocked him as being bald.
I don't want to know. Can we stop? Like, you're reading all these things that aren't even the Noah of it all. Jeffrey.
Sorry, I'm just...
Okay. Oh.
I'm trying to figure out. I might have been mixing it up with the Lot thing. I'm trying to. He definitely was drunk and naked. But I might have been mixing it up with the Lot thing.
Okay.
If that helps your Noah's Ark blanket.
Yes.
But yeah, the Bible's full of some wild stuff.
I know. Well, I don't know most of it, but I know.
All right, I have a story.
chunk.
I have a story that'll make you happy.
Okay.
Galapagos tortoises at the Philadelphia Zoo become first-time parents at nearly 100.
Oh,
They had to wait till they were ready.
that's adorable.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
I like how the Automod blocked links, but it didn't block the actual fucking ad.
Because the ad didn't say best viewers, it said like it used all those different characters to say it.
No,
I'm trying.
get it out of there.
Banned. Sorry, Lindsay, I can't allow your comment or it'll allow the phrase best viewers.
Well, they're not using the phrase best viewers
They're
anymore.
using best viewer. Like, yeah, they have to like.
I don't.
We also have it set up so that links can't come through anymore, and then now it's like Now it's like, do this, take the space out, and it's like, you guys, like, what the fucking fuck? Read the room. Beast viewers. Yeah, you can say beast viewers. Fucking
Do
hell.
not roll your chair back. By the way, Pete is directly behind you, just like zonked out. He played very hard with that toy, and now he is taking a nap.
Breast viewers. And Lindsay says, actually, don't say that one. It sounds a bit criminal. Yeah. But yeah, Galapagos tortoises at the Philadelphia Zoo became first-time parents at nearly 100.
I thought that had something to do with the dog that was on the article, because there's a picture of a dog up there.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have no idea what that
there.
context has to do with anything, but I was like, did they adopt the dog?
No, they had.
Are they parenting the dog?
No, they had a baby turtle.
Oh, to bye-bye.
A pair of critically endangered, nearly 100-year-old Galapagos tortoises at the Philadelphia Zoo have become first-time parents. In an announcement Friday, the zoo said it's overjoyed at the arrivals of the 4 hatchlings, a first in more than 150-year history. The babies are the offspring of the female Mami and male Abrazo, the zoo's 2 oldest residents. The quartet is being kept behind the scenes inside the reptile and amphibian house for now, eating and growing appropriately, the zoo said. They weigh between 70 and 80 grams, about the weight of a chicken egg. The first egg hatched on February 27th, and more eggs that still could hatch are being monitored by the zoo's care team. There's the little baby turtle.
Little guy.
This is a significant milestone in the history of the Philadelphia Zoo, and we couldn't be more excited to share the news with our city, region, and the world, President and CEO Joe L. Magerman said in a statement. Mommy arrived at the zoo in 1932.
The turtle. I thought the people referring to the.
No, that's her name.
That's her name.
Her name is Mommy. It was the 30s. We were in the Depression. We couldn't afford better names. Sam says, "Oh, the new bot meta is like, I'm a big fan of your stream/content. Would you mind adding me on Discord? It's weird." I've definitely seen that of like the artist ones that are like, hey, I'm an artist, join my Discord, but I've not seen the like, hey, let me into yours. It's all weird though. I hate. Lindsay says the artist ones are so weird. They're very weird. The amount of times that like Sam and Shiki have had to say in our chat, like, they have artists, they're fine. Lindsay said, I was getting them every stream at one point. They just came after small streamers big time. Sam says, no, they don't mean join a server. It's a friend request so they can DM you. Yeah, it's weird. Lindsay said not had them in a long time. And now that you said it out loud, you will. Sam says also artists don't do that. It's scammers stealing art. Yeah. Yeah, we had a very weird thing happen where someone who buys comics from me and used to buy a lot of comics from me and now is a very occasional, like, I'll see him once in a while thing, but had a whole like crazy thing where he got caught basically and from what I hear and from what I talk to people that like went to high school with him, he was a very talented artist. So it's not like he's not someone who hasn't like drawn his whole life and everything, but he was definitely doing the thing where he was like creating a social media account where he was presenting himself as someone who did a lot of artwork that was actually from comic book artists and stuff. And the comic book world is pretty small. And so it was this weird thing where when it all started blowing up and he got caught and outed for what he was doing, then all of a sudden I started getting tagged in stuff because it's like, this guy lives by you. And and I had to be like, oh yeah, that's so and so who buys comics. You know, I'd never employed him for art or anything. And then I had some people be like, uh, you know, when we were talking internally about it, be like, you need to ban him from the store. And like, I'm not gonna ban him for like, I'm not gonna hire him to do any art still, but I'm not gonna ban him from the store. He's been publicly shamed. Like that's enough. Like he's gone through it. Like if he wants to walk in and buy a comic book, he's still allowed to. Lacey says, "Oh yeah, that dude. I sell him the art he's stealing." Sam says artists are too shy to just wave their portfolio around. Some of them. I mean, like the problem is like part of the gig is you have to do that, right? You have to be somewhat forward in the like, hey, here's my stuff. Please check it out. And for my understanding, this guy had actual art that he could have, you know, put the work into that was his own that he could have been putting out there. And he would often, I guess, like take money for commissions, and then he would just, I guess, be like, hey, yeah, I'll do this commission for you, this personal art project. And he'd go find an artist that said they'd do it for 100, and he'd be like, yeah, I can do it for 200. And then he would do a lot of that, which is silly, especially if he's an artist himself. I don't know what he got out of it, but personally, like, you know, it's a different thing if like if the comic book store was a place where like people were like hanging out and he was like in there being like, hey, you want to buy my art? I would probably tell him to knock that off, but I don't know that someone like that deserves to not be able to walk into a place and buy comic books. I think that's a little weird. I was gonna watch video of the turtles, and Selena has disappeared again. I think there's video though. Mommy arrived at the zoo in 1932, meaning anyone who has visited the zoo for the last 92 years has likely seen her. Philadelphia Zoo's vision is that the hatchlings will be a part of the thriving population of the Galapagos tortoises on our healthy planet 100 years from now. Mommy is considered one of the most genetically valuable Galapagos tortoises in the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. Species survival plan. She is the oldest first-time mom of the Western Santa Cruz Galapagos species, the last clutch of such tortoises to hatch at an AZA accredited zoo was in 2019 at Riverbank Zoo and Garden in Columbia, South Carolina. The San Diego Zoo, Miami, and Honolulu Zoo have breeding pairs. Lindsay says, I mean, it's kind of smart, but if you're not transparent about it, then that's the problem. If he goes to an artist as an intermediary and says, this person has asked me to source art, I will pay this much, then it's fine. But if he's putting his name on it, unnecessary and shady. Yeah, it's weird. And in some cases, it looked like he wasn't even like making money. He was just getting like weird clout out of being able to be like, I'm an artist. He's not, dude. I don't understand grifts half the time. I'm not a con guy.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna play the video. Oh, that's a different video. Okay, I thought it was of the turtle. Oh, it is a dog. Never mind, I'm not gonna play a video of the turtle.
I want to know.
Colorado rescue team saves dog who fell over cliff. Looks like they saved a dog who fell over a cliff. I don't know why it's on the article.
John were enjoying the view at Colorado National Monument.
For the
one step too close
tortoise,
to the edge
though.
Sent the 3-year-old border collie tumbling over 100 feet down the cliffside.
Yeah.
What was going through your
Oh,
mind?
that's why
when
I
you
had
saw her?
pudding.
Honestly, my heart sank. I felt so much. I was scared. I thought she was dead.
Over 3
I have
agonizing
returned.
hours, brave volunteers of the Mesa County Search and Rescue
They
Ropes
rescued a
team
dog.
repelled to the rescue.
I
She was
know.
pretty shaken up.
John held on to hope as they
I'm
hoisted
gonna
her up.
refresh this to see if a turtle
Finally
video
safe
comes
on the
up because I
ledge,
thought it was gonna be a
Yogi's
turtle
tail
video.
Still wagging.
Why would
She
it be a
got
turtle
lucky.
video?
I don't, because it's right under where it says turtles. There we go.
Oh, what the fuck?
The baby turtle.
Look at him, he's like... Is he eating grapes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, that's lettuce.
Babies are the offspring of the female, mommy, and male of Razo, the zoo's 2 oldest residents.
Abrazo, look this way. Look. Look. Meet your babies.
There it is, guys. Good job. Now,
It's gonna be. You ready? Material hard.
I think 100 is the right time to become a dad. I think that's fair.
You're very wise by then.
Yeah. I'll consider having another kid when I'm 100.
No. I'll be 91. So,
Be 91.
yeah.
Sam says public perception is worth a lot. I guess it's just I don't. That's also one of the few individuals that's like not allowed to have a pull list with like a subscription list with me, because it's like he would run up huge tabs and then not pay them, and then I would see him again years later. But like other stores, because he's done that, won't let him in the store at all, and I never understand that. I'm just like,
I would probably, just because I'm like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 7,000 times. You don't get to come in here anymore.
well, I don't let him order things ahead anymore. But if he wants to walk in and buy stuff off the shelf, like,
I guess it's money either way, but like, I don't know. I'm more about the principle of things. Like, I'm really chill when it comes to like that kind of stuff usually, but if you do it too many times, I'm just kind of like, okay, why would I let you come in and like utilize my resource?
yeah. Well, I'm not like ordering things specifically for him or anything,
know.
probably ever again. But
But like, what if somebody else wanted one of the comics that he wanted off the shelf, and like that person comes in, and it's a person that comes in like every week, and then they don't get that comic because some dude who decided to screw you over like several times came in and got the comic?
yeah, but off the first come first serve wall.
Sure, but still.
They have the privilege that he does not, that they can order that comic ahead of time and have it sitting and waiting for them.
I guess that's true. What if they don't know it exists, though?
Then I don't. Then why would they be bothered if they didn't know it existed?
That day. Oh my god.
I don't know.
Also, I'm pretty, like, petty. So it's less about letting people use the resource and more that I'm afraid I would say something smart to them.
No.
So.
I'm definitely petty myself, but like I'm pretty like there is the one time where it's like we caught a guy literally stealing from, because there's 2 places in town that sell comics, and we caught a guy stealing from the one place and selling to me, and caught it because he sold to me, and then I called up the other place and was like, hey, is this yours? Because he got so lazy with it that I could tell. Called them up and they're like, yep, that's ours, definitely got stolen from us. And
Did you call anybody else?
No, I called the store and they put it up, and they caught him stealing the exact same comic over again, which was pretty funny. And then he got kicked out of that store permanently, and then it was like the next time I saw him, it was like I could have easily been like, you're not allowed in my store anymore, and I was like, you're on the absolute thinnest device. I don't want you to lose your only comic shop you're still allowed to go into, because it's like he likes comic books
So much that he stole from a small business.
yeah, but I was like, this is the rule. Like, you can't bring a backpack
Oh
past
my
this
God.
point. You can't do this. Rules
I would not be that
rules
nice.
that I
I
don't
would-
have for anybody else, and he's not around at all anymore. But
I
like,
know. I'm just saying, like, I would not be that nice. I'd be like, sure, you like comic books. Go buy them off of eBay then. Like, you don't get the convenience of walking into a local comic book store if you steal from one.
yeah, if you steal from the other one, and then
Especially like a small business. That's
yeah,
and it's like I'm not usually one to give a shit about people stealing things from like Walmart or whatever. No offense to Walmart. But like that's a big corporation, but for like a small business and you're stealing shit that like you don't need. Like it's not a necessity. If we sold food or like medicine or something, I'd be like, okay, I guess I could see that.
I don't know. We're just in a pretty small town, and life is long, and like there are a couple people that have earned lifetime bans, but like that's a pretty.
I wouldn't be mean about it. I would just be
nuclear
like, hey,
option.
I don't think that I'm comfortable with you being in here, knowing that you have stolen from a small business and that I have proof of, and that like I don't feel comfortable risking that for my own business. Like, I'm sorry, I just don't. And then
It was pretty comical though that he got caught stealing the same book a second time.
you
Like
think he was selling them. Like that brings into question like what he was selling them for.
comics. He was buying comics from. He was just taking them and turning them in for credit.
Oh, okay. See, I was starting to have some sympathy again, and then
No, he was just getting comic. I had more of a selection, but slightly better security, and so he was taking.
good security.
But he was taking from over at the other place because they had they at the time would take like their bigger books would just be like sitting there, and so he'd go with his backpack, slip them in, and then he'd bring them down to me, and it was one of those things like the first time or two I was like suspicious of it, and then as he got lazier I was like I could see their price tag, and it was like a book that came out that week, and so I was able to call him up and be like, I'm pretty sure, you know, because I kept getting lower in what I was offering to, and he was like, okay, I'll take it. It's just like, all right, this is definitely a situation where, but like it's the same thing. I mean, they could have called the cops because they had him.
Well, I'm not saying call the police. Fuck the police.
No.
But like, sorry, I'm joking on Lay's potato chip. But like, I don't know. I don't know what the best thing to do in that situation would be because I like.
At this point, I've not seen the guy in like 5-6 years, and I would much rather when he come into town, pop in and be like, "Oh yeah, I was a little asshole then. I'm sorry." Like,
Yeah, I guess that's
and not
fair.
have
Like,
it be.
It's redeemable, sure. I'm just saying, like, I don't know, like, I think just like I don't know. I don't know what the best like course of action for that stuff would be because there's like being too hard on them and then there's being like too soft. And it's like I think there's like a good medium. And maybe like the medium is just like directly calling them out and being like, "Hey, you're allowed to be in here, but you can't bring in a backpack and you are being watched." Like
That's what I said.
that's what I'm saying. Like that might be the right call. I just
Yeah.
I don't know that like
Yeah, he was not. I was like, you. Backpack stays outside forever with you. You're not allowed to ever have a backpack in here, which I've not like. Backpacks often make me nervous, but I've never made that rule with someone else. But
as
like,
someone who wears large animal backpacks like all the time, I never fully realized like how they might make people nervous until like I was in the Dollar Tree that's on the shadier side of town,
Mhm.
and they were like, do you have anywhere you could put that? And I was like, oh, it's not that big on the inside, like it's just, and then I like opened it and they're like, oh, okay, it's just like don't really want backpacks in here. And I was like, yeah, no, that makes sense. I just always forget because I'm wearing it less as a backpack and more as a like an accessory.
Fun accessory. Well, there was that time too. I think it was when we went to see Mainskin, and like both you and Peyton had purse-sized backpacks. In fact, like backpacks would be larger because they were like those little lounge fly things.
Mm-hmm. We both had lounge fly
and they
bags.
weren't gonna let you guys in because they were backpacks. And I was just like, what in the world? Like, if they were purses, it would be fine.
I understand, like, searching them. By all
Yeah.
means, like, go through the metal detector, search them. But after that, at that point, what do you think I'm going to do after you've already looked through my backpack? And, like, am I going to steal from the concession stand? Like, what? And for
Yes.
concerts, I mean, like, I don't understand that aspect. I do understand, like, at cons being like, hey, maybe we don't bring in multiple backpacks or something, which is rough because it's like the people that buy and sell comics there, like you need some kind of transportation.
Well, and I always carry a backpack around a con, but like, yeah, I've seen many. It always cracks. Like, it never offends me if I'm up and like someone's like, "Hey, do you mind if you set your backpack down?" And I'll be like, "Oh, actually, I've run around the con. It's got a lot of books in it. Can I give it to you?" And they're like, "That never bugs me."
They're so nice. Most vendors at cons are so nice. I left a whole portfolio full of like signed comic books.
Yeah.
And someone like turned it in to the booth that I was at, or either the people from the booth grabbed it and was like, "Oh crap." And then I walked by and they were like, "Hey, like you left it," like, and I was like, because I was looking for it, because I was like, "Shit, I forgot my portfolio." And they were like, "Yeah, we grabbed it real quick and like put it behind us so that nobody," I was like, "Well, thank you."
Shiki says people steal anything not nailed down. Sure, yeah. Also, good morning, Shiki.
Oh.
It's interesting though, because like comic books, the world is so small, and oftentimes comic books are so individual that it's pretty hard to steal comic books. People do.
I steal comic books every week from you.
You do. You steal from me every week.
You don't make me pay for them. Speaking of, I'm very excited to see those new Invincible.
They're coming in today.
I'm so freaking excited.
Also, thank you for being awake last night. I sent my weird, silly song to Shiki because I was like, she's awake, and I was like, Sam will appreciate this more, but he's long asleep at this hour, so I sent it to Shiki.
I like that song a lot.
I might do something with it.
I think you should. I also think that, like, again, you should post it in our local group and piss people off. Our local county group, like what's going on in our county is, we are a very red area.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And this week with the protests, it's been exhausting actually. I've tried not to check Facebook at all because like it's just like a horrible, and I'm like, okay, there's stuff being slung on both sides. It was just one side this time.
Yeah.
It was just people who didn't think that what we were protesting was worth protesting and thought it was so silly, and like they were the people that were like hating on people protesting were going after the local like Dominican sisters that like were there protesting as well. Like older women in their like 70s.
Yeah.
From like the local college.
Bill Murray's sister.
Just being horrible to them. And I'm just like, I can't do this shit.
Did you know that Bill Murray's sister was one of those?
I do know that. Yes, we've spoken of it. And but no, like it's just all of that to say, I think if you posted it in that group, it would make a lot of people upset, but it would be funny.
Yeah.
And that's
just usually not my vibe, is like trying to piss people off. Like I tried to bring joy. I do think it's a song that brings joy.
It brings joy. It probably won't bring joy for people that don't find that kind of humor funny, or like the people that are very up in the like King Cheeto, like he can do no wrong kind of thing. Like I don't think they'll find it very funny. However, I will, and I'm sure like a bunch of other people would, and the people that don't find it funny have no sense of humor, I guess.
I think it's like I've been talking to microphones for a long time, and there was like, a period of time where the Elon Musk talk was like when they were really pushing hard that like he's our Iron Man or whatever. And
It's so wild to me that there was a time where I was like, Elon Musk, wow. Like, my grandma was like, this is it. Like, this is the future. He's going to save us. And now we're like, it's just a complete 180 of like, how the fuck did he like.
well, my first experience with him was he was part of that. I've talked about it a lot, and it's worth tracking down that Young Rich documentary, which was all just like nepo babies of like the super rich. It was a documentary about them all in like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I saw a thing. And that documentary kind of presented him as kind of like this, the schlub who was like one of the few people in that documentary that was like trying to do things, but it wasn't going well. Like he was
trying to do things.
he was trying to get Tesla off the ground and it wasn't going well. And he was trying to like, it presented
Sorry, I just remembered. I'll tell you later. I don't know that I want to say it. It's not like I'm out here like vandalizing Teslas or something, but oh, it's fine. Every time I see a Tesla, like when I'm driving or whatever, like I do like the thumbs down and I'm like, boo. And the kids started doing it too. So we were driving home and there was this big Tesla and we were all just like, boo.
Yeah, I will say that to, you know, that in the way that like one man ruined a mustache and you just can't, nobody can ever have that mustache look ever again.
Yeah.
These homies have ruined red hats and Teslas. Like, it's just like, you can't.
Our one child is so adorably sweet though, because they're just like, they take things very literally and they're like, our middle kid, they're like, well, I don't like the person who made Teslas, but I really like how boxy they are. I'm like, you know what? Fair. Like, the lines are just so straight and boxy, and it looks like a cube, and I really like that. I'm like...
He says, but if you do, there's a soundtrack. Yeah, that's the chorus to the song I may or may not release. It's just, like, me saying over and over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you shouldn't burn a Tesla, but if you do, this should be the soundtrack.
I think you should release it. I really do. Like,
I gotta come up with a second verse, though, which is always the...
You met me when I was in my very loud left phase.
Yeah.
Like, I might be entering that again.
And you met me after my very loud left phase.
Because I'm just so tired and angry. And, like... Yeah. That's kind of just where I'm at.
It's interesting, like, because I've been talking to microphones for a long time. There was a whole period of time where it was like, oh man, he's the new Iron Man guy. And I remember sitting with like me, like Tim and Andrew for like the Rad Raptor comic show and like sitting and like talking about it. And to Andrew's credit for the jump, Andrew was like, always like, I don't like that guy. And
Andrew is a very good judge of character, that one.
And yeah, and it was for the jump, he was just like, no, I don't. And it was interesting because at that point it was just like, well, he's this guy that makes these cars and does everything and just
he's
like
gonna take us to space and like...
Yeah. And I did kind of enjoy. It's kind of like the way I feel about Trump, where it was just like, I kind of liked his cartoonish antics when he was a reality show guy.
I genuinely have no context for his cartoonish antics because I never watched anything that he was in. I just wasn't in that circle. I just didn't really care. So the only context I have for him is this.
Yeah, it's when they start doing these like these things where they're on and it's cracks me up to no fucking, like, he's so lame. It's insane to me that you could have that much money. It's the Zuckerberg thing. Like, how do you have that much money and you suck that much?
Because money doesn't make you cool.
Obviously. And then it's that thing that's like, you've watched your, you know, like, I don't know, the lesson you learn in junior high when like your friend has like a really...
I think your mic's kind of hot right now, just so you know.
It happens every time I get mad.
Oh.
Like, you watch your friend like, who has like a really cool girlfriend and then he like cheats on her and then afterwards he's like, I can't believe I'm losing Susie. And it's just like, of
Bro,
course.
you fucking cheated on her.
Right.
Like, what do you expect?
And you have Musk out there right now going like, I can't believe people are being mean to Teslas and the stock's doing bad. It's like, you Sig Heiled. What the fuck did you think? You went out there like people think that free speech is this thing of just like completely
you can
free.
say and do whatever you want, and there's going to be no consequence, and that's just not how it is.
Yeah, you Sig Heiled. You did it. It's no one came and arrested you. You did it. You did it twice.
You did it in a fucking crowd full of people, and nobody. I am honestly surprised in that moment that there was not a person in that crowd that was like, oh shit, and like tried to like come up and tackle him or something, because like that's wild. And he did that, and there was no immediate consequence.
There's no immediate consequences. So he's like, ha 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 ha. And now that the non-immediate consequences are happening, he's like, what's going on?
What?
And there's so many, like, it's fucking junior high dude cheating on his girlfriend. Like, what do you mean, Susie? Why won't she take me back?
Don't even get me started on how he treats his children, and like, I can't talk about him without getting ridiculously angry, so we probably shouldn't talk about him right now.
So lean back, Jeff. Stop getting bad. I'm sorry.
But like, all of that to say, like,
says they should have. Yes,
I do think you should release that, because honestly, these people, this has always been my thing. Always is that the people that support, like, hard support that group of people, are usually really hateful and cruel people, and they say really hateful and cruel things. They like celebrate hatefulness and cruelty and like just being bad people. They like take joy in it. So like, I don't see a problem with like being a little bit pokey back. I don't see a problem with like I don't know, I'm not a cruel person. I hate violence. I hate being angry. I hate saying mean things. I hate just like all of it. But like, we've tried being kind. We've tried just, you know, hoping to appeal to their like better like sense of compassion and empathy, and they don't seem to have that. So like,
yeah,
I guess you gotta get loud about it. Like, I don't know.
Sam said he had to pay to pretend to be good at gaming. Yeah, that's the fucking
I fucking forgot about that.
That's the most insane, like,
did you see people were in his like he was playing something
Path
recently.
of Exile.
Yeah, and
Usually
like, people were in like the chat just being like just like, you're a loser, like, how did like just... Did
you see his daughter saying that it's like he made us play Overwatch with him all the time just because like we could carry him into better ranked games and stuff? And I just don't, and that's the, regardless of whatever, the single thing that'll make me lose respect in any dude ever on the planet. And you talk about like how we should have gone up there and beat the shit out of him for Sikhailing. Should have beat the shit out of him a long time ago for not being a dad. Like that is the number one thing to me. It's like, if
he has so many kids too. Like, just stop fucking having them. Like, you clearly don't want to care about them. You clearly don't want to parent them. So why do you keep making them?
Yeah.
Like, it is insane to me. What are you gaining from it? Like, I don't understand. I don't get it.
And just like literally like we have academic debates about whether it's ethical or not to have that much money. I would definitely land on the fact that it's not. And we can have ethical debates on, you know, so many other things, right? And we could like have all these academic things. If you're a dad and you have a child out there that you are not like stepping up and being a dad for, or disowning because they don't fit into your political agenda, like, you are an absolute piece of dog shit.
Yes. Not to mention the fact that he literally uses his toddler child as like a fucking like shield.
Yeah.
he takes him to all these like big gatherings and puts him on his shoulders, and like it's insane. It's I don't even, my brain can never fully wrap around how we're living in this reality, and so I'm checked out a lot because it's just like, how is this happening? And how are people like, yes, this is what we want to support. This is what we like. It's like, it's just really weird to me, and I don't get it.
Sam says he's so insecure, he needs people to like him, so he's melting down right now. I get that read from him, and I get that read from Musk, and I get that read from, but like the only one of them that like has that innate, I get that read from Zuckerberg too, you know. The only one, it's like Trump has the ability to be liked. He has an innate charisma. I don't like him, but like it's he does have an innate draw and charisma to him that these other guys do not have.
If he wasn't spouting hateful bullshit and he was just saying weird old people shit, you know how sometimes old people just say weird shit and you're like, that's fucking, like, not hateful or cruel or like down on anyone, but just like old people say weird shit sometimes, you know?
When it's like if
he was just doing that and
he's
like
funny, like it's like the whole like, all right, White House, you made it here, big White House dinner, and it's just like
McDonald's.
It's all the fucking McDonald's, like fucking Richie Rich, like version of like decadence. Like he's like innately funny. He's innately charismatic. He just has, like, also a piece of shit.
Mentality of a toddler, though. Like he's a hateful little toddler.
Yeah. But the rest of these guys fucking wish they had that, and they don't. And it's like once he's not around anymore, it's all going to crumble because it's a house of cards being held up by one charismatic person, and they can't find another one to save their lives. They're like, what about this guy? And he fucks couches. Oh shit.
Not that one. It's so weird. It's like, it's one of those things, again, my brain just can't comprehend. And like, I don't even know. I can't. And it's like, it stresses me out because since he's been elected again, and like when he was like, the people that are very gung-ho about him, like that celebrate hatred and celebrate cruelty and celebrate all that stuff, they just feel so safe now in being cruel and terrible. And I'm not saying that like hateful people didn't exist before Donald Trump was president, but he gives them like power. He gives, like, because they see him being hateful and shitty, and the people around him being hateful and shitty, and they don't have any consequence. And they're up on stage. They're up front row of America, like, and so these people are like, there's like a, I can't think of the word. There's like a steam under them, not steam. There's like a
wind. He's the wind beneath their wings. They're shitty racist wings.
Like, and it's just, it's so, and that's what whenever I like, I don't really conversate with people that are that deep into it. I have family members like on other sides of my family that I don't really talk to, but like occasionally they'll pop up on my Facebook because my Facebook is public, and they'll be like, hey, actually, blah, 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 Trump, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'll post something and they'll be, like, chill about it. They don't instantly come in with, like, insults or whatever. They try to use their logic and buzzwords. And I'm just like, I don't think you understand that, like, all of the other inner workings of things are messed up too, yes. But, like, the one thing that these people can't deny is that, like, he does give people, like, space to be horrible and shitty.
Yeah.
Like, he celebrates it. He's happy about
it. Red hats give you racist wings.
Oh my god. That's amazing. I kind of want that on a t-shirt. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that's great.
I just enjoy that Shiki and I share a brain, because I was like, my head would have also tried to be like, how do I make the Red Bull thing work?
Anyway, all that to say, on a positive note now, we had a really good turnout in our town for the protests, and it was amazing to see. Like, my grandparents went, and like my grandma like literally lost her voice from like screaming. And there was people in their 70s, and like it is very refreshing to see like an older generation too, because not to say that like the older generation is all people that support him, but they're more susceptible to Fox News.
Yeah.
We'll put it that way. So like it was very refreshing to see a lot of older people out there just like fighting for the newer generations.
Shiki said most of his children are from sex-selective IVF because he only wanted sons. Little Neo-Napoleon over here. It's fucking dog shit and weird. I guess that puts more into context than being a shitty dad and disowning his daughter. But Jesus fucking Christ, that just makes me hate that dude so much more. Sam says to Trump, I don't even think he's charismatic. I think his supporters are grifters and hope if they're good enough, he will share his wealth.
I think that too. I think that I find some of the things he does, if you put them in the context of goofy old man, like, and he's not being hateful and he's just being like an old man, I'm just like, someone come get their grandpa kind of thing. But like, he's like, when you say he's charismatic, I don't fully agree with that either. So much as like, I think he just knows how to rile up a crowd, so to speak.
I mean,
and
that's
like,
charisma. It doesn't.
I suppose
it's charisma that doesn't work on me, you, and Sam because like of our particular trauma backgrounds, but like it's charisma, and it does work on some percentage of people that are just like, oh my god,
that's fair.
what a great man.
But it's like I agree that I think that like there's just people that support him because they think that he's going to like give out the wealth that he has, and it's like if I thought in some crazy circumstance that he was going to do that, I just can't support the 9,000 other things that have come spewing out of his hole.
It's why it's like it's not funny, haha, but it's like funny that like the stock market is in the absolute free fall that it is right now, because you had a number of people that probably supported him not for any of those things, but they're like, well, the stock market does really good when Republicans are in office, and like it's a shit show now.
Yerp.
Sam says grabbing women by the pussy doesn't even remotely sound charismatic, but maybe I'm just broken. I agree with you, but the people that tend to do things like that tend to be charismatic individuals.
I never found anything that he said to be like, wow, like I understand why people follow him kind of thing. Like, cause I watch TV shows with like charismatic villains in them all the time. And I'm like, okay, I'm not saying I would like condone fucking Hannibal's actions, but like I understand where Will gets like wrapped up in it. Like he's a very charismatic, like that's what I think of when I think of charisma. I think of like,
right, you think of charisma that works on you specifically.
Well, not only me specifically, but like the characters that he
okay, so like let's okay, what was Trump's campaign slogan?
Make America Great Again.
Okay. What was Kamala Harris's campaign slogan?
I don't know.
Because she had one.
I'm sorry.
What was Joe Biden's campaign slogan?
I don't know.
Okay, because he had one.
I don't know.
But this is.
I forgot. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not attacking you. I'm just saying, like, he has an innate like charisma and marketing, and like he like.
I think more so, I'm not gonna lie to you, it has less to do with that and more to do with the fact that like I have been traumatized by Make America Great Again. Like it's unfortunately an intrusive phrase in my brain. Like it lives there because I associate it with the stress and anxiety and fear and sadness that he has brought to this country. Like I don't think that has anything to do with charisma. I think he's just like I think he's just really. I think for the people that he has behind him and like supports him, again, it does have less to do with charisma and more to do with the fact that he's just loud and like hateful and like he doesn't stop. Like he keeps going and going and going. Like you can't.
He's an Energizer bunny of shittiness.
Yeah.
Sam says branding and cult following constantly being in the news as MAGA is not the same as charisma, in my opinion. No matter what side you're on, that cult and phrase has been in the news for a decade at this point, every single day. Yep.
Yeah, and it's like that's not to say that's not any points towards that he has charisma so much as he's just very good at constantly like hammering.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that has anything to do with charisma.
Okay.
We can agree to disagree. I'm fine with that. But
it's we're people that all agree that he sucks. We're just like disagreeing.
Yeah.
These like small measurements. Sam says, so not knowing the other slogans, unsure if that's a fair comparison. That's the right. My thing is always like that's the game of politics though, and it's like whenever we have someone like that has that kind of zest and that pop, and i.e. a Bernie Sanders or an AOC that could go against that on the other side, we shut them down.
Yeah. Because
they can't be controlled by our corporate donors, which is what we ultimately care about. And you know, Bernie had that zeitgeist and that charisma in the same way of just like,
oh, he's been very loud lately.
Yeah.
Love that man.
But and then Trump is very good at like when we put up people that don't have that zeitgeist, like coming in and anointing them with it. Like, you know, like Trump is just as old as Biden is, but he managed to just like old sleepy Joe. Like he just
I don't know. I don't know. It's not like I like worshipped the ground that Joe Biden walked on, like, or anything. I just it's rough because it's like my grandma was very like she loved Barack Obama and like and so therefore by extension she is like obsessed with Joe Biden. And like I would try to talk about like yes, like I'm glad that when Joe Biden was president, like this and this, but like also here's these things that like I wish he would have handled differently or like done better.
Yeah.
And it would be like, no, like it's but and I'm just like I don't really like the closest politician that I've ever had like almost zero complaints with is Bernie Sanders, I think. There's like a couple things that I have about him that I'm like, you could do this differently, but like I think that's how you should like that's how a politician in office should be, is that you're like, okay, well you could have handled a couple of these things differently. Not like
no one should be 100% perfect, because if they are, they're hiding something.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird.
We should not have someone in office that's like every day I'm like, oh my god, they ruined this thing, and oh my god, they're doing like it's just
the John Mulaney bit of like, there's a horse loose in a hospital. Like today, the horse got on the elevator. Like, what? Sam said about Bernie, he's been loud for decades. It's sad it's taken so much to get most people to listen. I've seen videos of him from like the 80s having the exact same conversations. 100%. I think we just have changed as a people to where we're more receptive of his message now. And I do think, I do think as shitty as everything is right now, and things are very shitty right now, I do think that it is a unfortunately probably necessary step towards like some really good times again.
Necessary, I'm going to disagree with because none of what has been happening lately is necessary.
We got here through complacency.
Right, I understand that.
Like
from
whether
that.
to not sugarcoat it, we got here because it's a game and we lost the game, and we lost the game from complacency. You can blame it on whatever.
I agree with that, but like I don't know that like I would word it necessary. I don't know that I would necessarily word it as being necessary. I think that it is going to be a catalyst in change, and that is important. However, I don't think that these things needed to happen for this to change. I think that like this could have happened prior, and
could have, did not.
Yes, I know, and I guess that does mean necessary.
And that's why
at this point.
I say that it's like we let this happen. At the end of the day, we let this happen. It's this structured game, and then we can argue all sorts of other semantics of it, but like
which in that category is why I'm glad that people are protesting and are out there being loud about it and talking about it, and like because in a way you are right, like the complacency aspect of it does have a big play in it.
Yeah. Those people should also be running for local elections. They should be, when we get to midterm time, they should be campaigning.
Yeah, I think there should be people out there like handing out pamphlets that are like, here, you're out here protesting, here's how you can help some more. Like that would be helpful if you think that protesting isn't helpful in like as a whole. Like there's ways to.
I think it's helpful. I just don't think it's as helpful as like we are losing on like a ground game. It sucks that we had to vote for Joe Biden instead of Bernie Sanders, and we had to vote for Hillary Clinton instead of Bernie Sanders. But that also, not that they didn't have their own chicanery going on, but that largely happened because the young people didn't show up at the primaries and vote for those candidates in the primary elections too.
Yeah. I don't know. I gotta.
Sucks what's happening at our local school boards and stuff, but that's happening because all these people that are very loud and upset aren't running for local school boards and aren't running for.
Right. But at the same time, a lot of these people, you cannot fault them for that because we are in a society that grinds you down to where you have zero energy and zero motivation to do literally anything.
Yeah, by design.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's unfair to simply shift. And I know you're not doing that. I'm just saying that, like, it's easy to shift the blame and just be like, you didn't try hard enough. It's like, that's not fair because the system that we're in currently doesn't really allow you to try.
I'm not saying anyone in this conversation didn't try hard enough specifically.
I know.
I'm saying that, like,
I know what you're saying.
We as a team did not.
Right. No, I get that fully. I'm just saying, like, I wanted to point out specifically that, like, anybody who feels like they could be doing more and isn't doing more and, like, is beating themselves up about it, like...
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Shiki says, I really like Bernie overall. Condemning Kamala during the race to the presidency when she was the hope we had really irked me. Working with her going ahead to make better decisions would have been a much better decision, in my opinion, but I'm not a politician, thankfully. Yeah, or when they were attacking her for, like, she was part of an active, like, group that was, like, in active negotiations, and people are getting mad at her for not saying that she would do stuff differently enough, but it's just like...
but she can't say stuff like that.
To a certain degree. Like, I don't want to give her a complete pass, but, like, also, like, if I'm, like, in the last years of, like, position of, like, president of Rad Raptor Comics, and then you're about to take over as president of Rad Raptor Comics, and I'm negotiating a deal for us, and you would handle that negotiation differently, you're not going to get out there in the news and be like, I would be handling this so much differently. You know, you would still be, like, trying to be as diplomatic as possible.
Just trying to play the game, yeah. It's fucked up, though, because it's like when you refer to it as a game, it's like people's livelihoods and lives and well-being and just
100%.
Being human in general is, like, caught up in this game, and I fucking hate that politics are a game. Like, I hate that.
Right. But it is. But I would like
I
to
know.
fix that and change that. But
I'm just saying.
it is what it is.
Like, I may have to bow out of this conversation because I get really like.
Don't worry, our next article is about politics.
It's about the Nintendo Switch getting delayed. I'll be right back. I gotta go grab my phone because I gotta make sure that I have everything ready for my car appointment.
Sam says, I think the crash was kind of inevitable regardless of politics because late stage capitalism. Probably. Shiki says, I should go make a bagel. I can't eat bagels right now, and I'm very sad. They're one of my favorite joys, and I'll be able to eat them again soon. But I love a good everything bagel with cream cheese. My favorite. I'm really, at some point, once my teeth are good, Shiki says they're so good. Bagels for Jeff soon. Yes. I want to do the full traditional Jewish, like salmon and onion. What is it? It starts with an L. I can't think of it, but like I want that whole thing. I need to go into a bigger city and just walk into a very Jewish bagel place and just be like, make it for me like you would for you, and I just want to try it. Locks, yeah. Sam says, I need to head out, but I hope the rest of the news goes well. There's just one more article, and then we'll see you soon. Nintendo delays Switch 2 pre-orders in response to Trump tariffs. Yay! This is from Michael McWhirter over at Polygon, who says, Nintendo has delayed pre-orders in the United States for the Switch 2 in response to sweeping new tariffs outlined by the Trump administration earlier this week. Pre-orders were scheduled to begin April 9th, but have been delayed indefinitely, Nintendo said Friday. Switch 2's release date in the US is still currently set for June 5th. Pre-orders for Nintendo Switch 2 in the US will not start April 9th, 2025. In order to assess the potential impact of tariffs and the evolving market conditions, Nintendo said in a statement provided to Polygon, Nintendo will update timing at a later date. The launch date of June 5th, 2025 is unchanged. Nintendo announced its next generation console on Wednesday, setting the price of Switch 2 at $449.99. But a few hours later, U.S. President Donald Trump announced reciprocal tariffs on dozens of countries, including territories where Nintendo manufactures its hardware. Trump hit China with an additional 34% duty on Wednesday and hit Vietnam, where Nintendo has moved some of its production with a 46% tariff. I don't know enough about this stuff, but word around the water cooler is Nintendo actually moved its production to Vietnam to try to avoid these tariffs. And then we hit them with massive tariffs too. But we also hit islands that contain nothing but penguins. So, that could mean Switch 2's already expensive price tag could go up even further for customers in the United States. Response to Nintendo's prices for Switch 2 games, which cost upward of $80 for the system, have been widely negative. During live streams broadcast by Nintendo on Thursday and Friday, viewers unrelentingly spammed one request of the company: drop the price! But with Trump escalating a trade war with double-digit tariffs on imported goods, it seems unlikely customers in the U.S. will see a price drop. It's unclear at this stage what the result of the Nintendo's assessment of Trump's tariffs and evolving market conditions will ultimately mean for the launch of the Switch 2. But in addition to increased cost, it could mean a lower allocation of consoles for the US, which could make the system harder to find. This all sucks. It's hitting our world too with comic books. Most comic books are actually printed in Canada. And there's the quick buzzword is like, oh man, well we could just make all these things here, and that's not something that can easily happen overnight. And so even if this is the new lay of the land, and even if you want to argue that all this is going to lead to a greater good down the line, it's going to take a while for us to get there. And then as a result, I'm assuming to the things like comic books, and I can't imagine how many other things that are affected by paper and lumber. They announced yesterday that half of all protected forests of the U.S. are now going to be free for lumbering, so that's cool. I fucking hate it here. It's a hot mess of a situation, and I don't think.
Speaking of things being a hot mess of a situation, do you know anything about thing that you were just texted? Like this just popped up.
No.
What? It has to do with what we're talking about. Otherwise,
Yeah,
I wouldn't have been like, "Hey."
This news article that just got texted in: Alliance Entertainment sues Diamond after Diamond tries to switch winning bidder. Okay, why would Diamond switch the? Alliance Entertainment has filed suit against Diamond Comic Distributors and related companies after Diamond filed that it planned to sell the company to the joint backup bidder Universal Distribution LLC, which had submitted a stalking horse bid prior to the bankruptcy filing, and NECA and WizKids parents Ad Populum LLC instead of Alliance Entertainment, which was declared the winning bidder at the auction. The suit requests a preliminary injunction with a temporary restraining order prohibiting Diamond from selling its assets to any company other than Alliance Entertainment. In a hearing on its complaint, the complaint asks for an order compelling Diamond to sell its assets to Alliance Entertainment, awarding Alliance its fees. It's because Alliance wants to shut all the comic stuff down. That's probably like they've literally been like, cool, we're gonna do all the toy stuff. We're going to shut down all the comic stuff. And they were probably like, oh, well, we'll go with these other guys then. But it's bankruptcy. You don't get to do that.
Yeah.
Diamond filed a motion last week asking the court to approve the sale of the company's assets to the joint backup bidder, stating that it now had determined that the backup bid was superior to the bid it had determined was the winner on the day of the auction. The backup bid, which includes changes from the bid that was their final bid on the day of the auction, uses formula based on Diamond's financials to determine the price, which is not specified as a single number. This is insane. Diamond said that the decision to change the winner of the auction had been made in consultation with the investment bankers Raymond James, their professionals, the Unsecured Creditors Committee, and their bank. According to the complaint, the suit arose from Diamond's inexplicable refusal to consummate the sale. That's the word they use, consummate? Consummate the sale of their assets to the successful bidder at an auction they conducted. An alliance filing includes the negotiated assets purchase agreement, which includes a number of changes negotiated after the auction that brought the total price to $85 million, some $14.4 million more than the amount as the auction concluded. As a side note, this amount is considered above the amount Diamond disclosed as its liabilities in the early filing, although that number has likely changed from operating losses and fees. Okay. So in summary, Diamond has filed to switch its determination of winning bidder at the auction to Universal/Ad Populum. I think it's because they were probably happy about it, but then the Alliance people came out and they were like, yeah, we're basically strip mining this thing. Would be my guess. And so they're trying to go with the place that wanted to actually utilize the stuff and the people rather than strip mining it.
Yeah. Sorry. The random things that are happening today are crazy because as I looked at that text, I just like muscle memory went to Facebook and then hit Facebook, and now there's more brand new stuff happening. Like more people are coming out.
Oh, it's not going to be a slow news day. Across any.
I just. I'm very exhausted.
Yeah. Again, by design, they want you to be exhausted.
No, I mean like brand new as in like the band.
I know.
Okay.
I know exactly, but I'm also just saying that it's just like everything's on fire right now, and everything's going to feel like that way for a while, and it's by design. Hey, but the global stock market has taken a complete plunge, so that's cool.
Yahoo.
All right. We have a YouTube channel. I put a lot of work into it. I'm going to put more work into it today. Sorry, I've been not putting work into it lately, but I've been dying of tooth stuff. Please go check that out. We also have a Whatnot. We did our first in a long time live comic sale show on Whatnot this past Saturday. We'll be doing those every Saturday night going forward. From 8 to 10. And if you follow that link, you can buy stuff for us and not pay any money. Also, that said, Whatnot allows for like usernames and stuff, so you don't have to dox yourself to buy comics from us. So you can hang out on a live comic sale and just make dumb jokes and stuff, even if you don't want to buy anything. By hanging out and Whatnot, and we'll be doing those every Saturday night going forward. We have raid messages. They look like this and like this, based on if you are subscribed or not. We're gonna go over and bug Sam. Sam has been working his ass off raising money for the NCA. Specifically helping out and advocating for kids that have gone through shitty child abuse situations. So we're going to head over there. If you have time and money to give, please do that. We love Sam a lot, and we especially love the fact that he spends so much time and energy for charity. It's pretty incredible stuff. He's a good egg. So we're going to head over that way.
A good egg.
Yeah. And see if his he's not quite up yet.
We can wait.
You need to talk a little further.
Okay.
About how the world is falling
I was
apart.
gonna say I don't have anything positive to say right now.
Love you too, Shiki.
Love you.
My face really hurts. I'm gonna need the break. Oh, I will be back at 3:00 today, though, despite face hurting. I'll make sure I'm on enough meds to get some Final Fantasy 2 going.
Also, be cognizant of how much you're moving your jaw and talking.
Yeah.
Because that attributes to it.
That's why I'm not going to be doing much talking in between now and 3:00.
Yeah, well, I'll be gone, so you won't really have the one other person. I guess you could talk to the cats if you want.
I could.
Yeah, they don't really talk back. Sometimes they do.
They do. Oh, look at Pete. He is like completely collapsed over there. He tired himself out playing with a toy. Thought he would be up by now. Okay. Sorry. Usually I make this less awkward too. It's just the face pain. I'm just like
It's okay.
ready to dismount. But if Sam wasn't doing charity thing, I'd just be like, all right, we're going this other place instead. But again, NCA, National Children's Alliance. I wonder if I can find his little about video. You'd have to watch it twice then, but you think he's getting to start now? Okay, don't rush him. Ignore mouth pain Jeffrey. I'm not meaning to. The amount of times I've had to like tell Selena like, welcome to the party, but wait.
Pixel Pink 919 has rated us.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for the raid, Pixel. I love the goblins incoming. That's amazing. If you don't know Pixel, please follow Pixel. He's wonderful and amazing, and we love him. And he does lots of co-work streams. We often will raid in there after this show, and he will often talk about. Right, he sets it all up so it's like you can actually put the tasks into. There'll be like good music playing. You can even pick songs, and it's amazing. And our fans will often talk about, our community will often talk about like how they'll bullshit like crazy over here and then finally get work done once we go over there. So it's a good fit, and we love them. Please go check him out. If you don't know who we are Dork Duck. This is our daily morning show. We do this Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. We also do video game streams. But we run this show most mornings. We kind of cover the news. This week we just kind of ranted about how much Elon Musk sucks for like an hour. That kind of just happened organically.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of that kind of stuff too. We are going to I fucking love and appreciate you guys so much, and thank you so much for rating in. I did just have dental surgery, so and we've been on for the last 2 hours. So I'm still gonna, as rude as it is, we're gonna take all of you guys, but please stick around. I mean, you can always raid and run. That's always like a thing that's allowed. But we're gonna go and all collectively raid Sam now, and Sam is doing charity streams. So even if you don't have money that you can throw to charity, it's a really good charity. It's National Children's Alliance, helping and advocating for kids that have gone through child abuse situations. It's very good, very, very important. So even if you have to raid and run, if it's possible to just like leave your screens up, leave yourself lurking, that would be a huge help, because as you know with charity stuff, even if you can't monetarily donate, just hanging out and being there for the numbers sake of it all is hugely helpful. Yes, we have raid messages. They look like that and that. Pixel says we love Sam. No, it's not rude. I saw you ready. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for the raid. I'm gonna refresh this screen.
I do believe Sam is up.
Yeah. I just had to refresh the screen because it's still showed Pixel as an option too, but not Sam. But yeah, thank you guys so much. And yeah, we're gonna go over. And like I said, I usually am very just like, hey, raid and run, it's fine. If you can though, hang out, because charity is important, and we love you guys. And yeah, that's the raid message you can copy if you'd like to. I'm trying to remember if I even copied mine. Boom, boom. And like I said, I would BS longer just for the sake of the raid, but my mouth hurts. I had 2 teeth pulled this week, so. But I love you. All right, we're heading over to Sam now.
Okay, bye. Have a good